يا منورة والنور في بيتنا، علمتينا وفهمتينا لما بقينا حاسين بقيمتنا. المدرسة علينا بتنادي عني اللي شايفها في وسط بلادي، بتنمينا مع بعضينا، بتنمي فينا معلوماتنا. عالهوا دروس يومية للابتدائية والثانوية، عالهوا دروس يومية للابتدائية والثانوية. فرحتينا بتعلينا وبتاخدي دايما بإيدين ولادنا. مدرسة عالهوا، مدرسة عالهوا، مدرسة عالهوا، مدرسة عالهوا.
Hello dear students of secondary biology. Today we have the first episode for revision, as we have to make a general review about what we studied before in chapter 1, nutrition. Here we have some types of questions, as we have to answer these questions according to the new style, not the traditional style of questions. So let's go to start our episode today with chapter 1 general review. Here, as we see here, general review chapter 1, as we talk about the nutrition. Let's go to start with the first type of questions. As we see, which of the followings use in photosynthesis process to produce their food? We have autotrophic, heterotrophic, holozoic, D, A, and B. Here we know we have two types of nutrition. We have autotrophic and heterotrophic. So here we have, how can we answer this question? We talk about what? We talk about photosynthesis process here. So the answer is what? In plant or some types of algae, some types of bacteria. So the answer is autotrophic. Answer A, autotrophic, producing food by using photosynthesis process. Next question is, as we see here, the food substances that are synthesized in the plant are characterized with. Food substances that are synthesized in the plant are characterized with high energy and simplest structured, low energy and simplest structured, high energy and complex structured, A and B. We talk about preparation of food in plant here. So plant using raw materials as carbon dioxide, water and light inside the chloroplast. From these simple raw materials, the plant can produce or prepared high energy and complex structured materials as carbohydrates, as proteins, as lipids. So the answer here in this question is what? Is number C, high energy and complex structured materials. Number C. Next question is, as we see here, number 3. Heterotrophs are characterized by all the following except. We talk about heterotrophic nutrition characterized by all the followings except: obtain their food from organic compounds, obtain their food as high energy compounds, obtain their food as simple structure compounds, or depend on other organisms to obtain their food. Here we have to know the characters of heterotrophic nutrition, but here we have exception. One of these characters not belongs to or belonging to the heterotrophic. So which one of them? We can take what? Yes. يبقى الانسر not belongs to heterotrophic. يبقى obtain their food from organic compound أو اللي تنفع obtain their food as high energy compounds, obtain their food as simple structure compound. Here we have number C is not belonging to the characters of heterotrophic living organisms. So the answer is number what? Number C. Obtain their food as simple structure compounds. Here we talk about autotrophic, not heterotrophic living organism. Next question is, all the following may cause the presence of a high percentage of fat in the wastes of digestive system except a disturbance in what? We talk about fats, so we talk about lipids. We have some enzymes producing inside the digestive system to digest lipids. So as we see here, we have, for example, number 1, action of pancreas. We know pancreas producing what? Producing lipase enzyme. Lipase enzyme. And lipase enzyme is what? Using to change fats or lipids into emulsified fats. So here is not correct for this question. Number 2, action of lipase enzyme. So here we have the same like number 1, like number A. Number C, the bile juice secretion. Here we have lipase enzyme change fats or lipids into fatty acid and glycerol. Here we have bile juice change the lipids into emulsified fats. So A, B, and C are related to the digestion of fat. So any disturbance in these three parts, we have what? High percentage of fat. So which one is the true answer? Is hydrochloric acid secretion. So the answer here is number D. Why? Because hydrochloric acid is use or the function of hydrochloric acid to what? To activate pepsinogen enzyme into pepsin, using to digest protein into polypeptides. So here we have number D, not related to the digestion of fats or lipids. Next question is, they, as question 5, they can't make their food. They depend directly or indirectly on plants in feeding. C, they can utilize sunlight to produce chemical energy. Number D, they considered as consumer in food chain. The question talking about here, the what? As we see, number what? Here the question, which of the previous statements are suitable for heterotrophic? So we should know which one is suitable for heterotrophic living organism. Number 1, as we see, they can't make their food. So this statement is related to the heterotrophic. Number B, they depend directly or indirectly on plants in feeding, as human depends directly or indirectly on plant in feeding. So human considered as heterotrophic living organism. Number C, they can utilize the sunlight. So here we talk about what? We talk about autotrophic, using sunlight in preparing of food during photosynthesis process. So the answer is what? Is number C. Letter C is the correct answer. These statements are what? Suitable for طبعا plant, not for what? Not for heterotrophic, as living organism as human or animals. So the answer is number C. Next one. As we see, طبعا answer is what? A, B, D. A depends directly or indirectly. Number D, they considered as consumer in food chain. So the answer is A, B, and D are related to heterotrophic living organism, not number C. So the answer is number what? Letter, as we see here, letter D. A, B, and D are what belong to the heterotrophs or heterotrophic living organism. Next question is, if you know that the scarce worm can live and feed in human small intestine, so this organism is what? Saprophyte, autotrophic, carnivorous, parasite. We talk about scarce, and scarce here live inside the small intestine of human, feeding on the digested food and causing harm or harms to human. So scarce here live on other living organism. So scarce not saprophytes, not autotrophic, and at the same time not carnivorous like lion or dogs or wolves and so on. So the answer here is parasite, live inside other living organism or on other living organism, causing harms or diseases. Next question is, all the followings are similar in food nutrition except. All the followings are similar in food nutrition except. Except which one? Lion, bread mold fungus, human, or deer. As we know here in this question, similar in food nutrition. So we have lion is what? Yes, lion carnivorous, we know. At the same time, human omnivorous. Deer herbivorous. The three living organisms here are what? Are heterotrophic, but related to holozoic. Here we have bread mold fungus considered as what? Saprophyte. Not like lion, not like human, not like deer. So the answer is bread mold fungus, because bread mold fungus considered as what? As saprophyte nutrition living organism. Next question. Root hairs cell is characterized by what than other plant cell? Here we have presence of cell membrane, presence of cell vacuole, presence of protoplasm. Number D, increase the surface area. If we talk about this question, we should know. Here we have number one, cell or root hair cells has what? Has cell membrane like the other cells. At the same time, the root hairs have what? Have cell vacuole. Why? To depends on it in storing mineral and nutrients, water, and something like that, like other cells. Presence of protoplasm like other cells, and we know protoplasm is nucleus and cytoplasm. But the root hair has increase in the surface area. As what? Increase in the surface area. So here we have the one, the main character here in root hair. It has increased the surface area to increase the rate of absorption, and we know absorption of water and the minerals from the soil. Okay, next question is, The lost root hairs are generated from the of the root, as we see here. Permanent zone, root hair zone, elongation zone, or growing tip. We talk about what? We talk about the lost what? Yes, root hairs. What damage in root hairs are compensate or regenerated from place or location is called what? Yes, number 3 is called the elongation zone in the root hair or in the root hair cell. Okay. As we see, dear students, we can answer any question by using طبعا open book with the new way of exam. And at the same time, we should remember how can we make a link between the different types or different parts of our syllabus in this term. Next question, question number 10, as we see here. Dietary protein passes through several structures after leaving the stomach. In which order does the dietary protein pass through these structures? We talk about protein, and we know the first place that protein will start, the first point of digestion or the first step in digestion is the stomach. So in which order? Here we talk about the step-by-step orders of the transferring of protein. After stomach, we have what? We have the small intestine, then large intestine. And the small intestine consists of 2 main parts are called duodenum and ileum. Then we have large intestine with colon and rectum. So number 1, duodenum, ileum, colon, and rectum. So the answer is what? Yes, the answer is number what? Number A or letter A. Because here transfer to the duodenum, then to the ileum. We have polypeptidase enzyme destroy or digest the polypeptides into amino acid, then transfer to the colon as the indigested protein, and then get out through rectum. Next question is, as we see, 11. Which of the followings has the ability to pass through the cell membrane? Here we talk about the cell membrane. And we know cell membrane is the semi-permeable membrane. We have 3 types: impermeable, permeable, and semi-permeable. So here we talk about what? We talk about the size, because cell membrane is a semi-permeable membrane that allow particles to pass through according to the size. So as we studied before, starch molecules are what? Are organic, large size. Number 2, lipids, organic, as fat, as oil, large sized molecules, organic, can't pass. At the same time, here we have amino acid, and we know amino acid from the first secondary is monomer, not polymer. But at the same time, in this question, we have large size. So we can't choose this letter C, because large size molecules can pass through the cell membrane. So we talk about calcium molecules, because calcium is from the minerals, small molecules. So the answer is what? Is D, because here we talk about small molecules, not large sized molecules. Next one, 12. The process of mixing 2 different substances molecules is mixing 2 different substances as osmosis, diffusion, active transport, or imbibition. If we talk about mixing different substances, we talk about dissolving. We mix here. So we can't choose Diffusion, because diffusion talking about the transfer of what? Of minerals or ions from high concentration to low concentration area. And active transport here, transfer of minerals or ion salts from low concentration to high concentration zone by using energy. At the same time, we have imbibition. In some colloidal substances, these substances absorb water, then swell. So here we have no mixing, but we will choose number one, osmosis. Why? Because osmosis is the transfer of water from high pressure to low pressure, or from low concentrated solution to high concentrated solution. So here we talk about water, and water contains mixing or sap as dissolved substances inside water or inside this solution. Next question is, marine fish, when thrown under tap water, burst because of the phenomenon. Here we have key, endo, which means absorb, exo, which means release. So we have endosmosis, exosmosis, active transport, or diffusion. Here we have, to answer this question, we talk about marine. So this fish contains high amount of salt. High amount of what? Of salt. So the concentration of solution inside it is what? Is high. And at the same time we use what? Tap water, مية الحنفية يعني, and this solution contains low concentration of salt. So water will transfer from tap water and absorbed inside the marine fish. So we have absorb or release. Here the marine fish has or contains high concentration material or solution. So here water will transfer inside the marine fish. So here we have the answer is endosmosis, which means absorb, and here we have burst, which means explode or increase in size. اتنفخت يعني. Next question. As we see here in this diagram, the opposite figure, an amount of starch solution, 10% concentration in the right side and 6% in the left side. What do you expect as time passes? إيه اللي هيحصل؟ Water will move from left to right. Starch will move from left to right. Water will move from right to left. Starch will move from right to left. So here, how can we answer? As we see here, we have number one, as we see in this diagram. We have semi-permeable membrane. At the same time here we have concentration 6%. And on the right side we have concentration with 10%. So here we have what? Semi-permeable membrane, as membrane allow only small particles to pass through. So we have starch, and starch considered as what? Considered as macromolecules, polymer, large molecules. So starch can't pass through this membrane, can't pass, مش هيعدي. But only water will transfer. Water can transfer through the semi-permeable membrane. Water will move from 6% to 10%, or from 10% to 6%. How come? Here we have 6% concentration solution. So water is how many? Is 96%. And on the right side we have 10% concentration. So water here is 90%. So water will move from 69% to 90%, or in the opposite direction. So the answer water will move, not starch, from left to right or from right to left. طبعا water will move from left to what? To right side, as the answer is number A. Next question. You have two pieces of potato tuber where the weight of each one is 5 grams. The first piece is put into pure water. Pure what? Water. Water without any another materials, which means water only. And the second potato is put in a concentrated here sugary solution. What is the expected weight for each one after 1 hour? Okay. Number 1, 5 grams. Number 2, 5 grams. But number 1, we put it in what? In pure water. So water outside the number 1 more than inside, pressure. So water will transfer from pure water inside the first potato tuber. And the second one, the potato tuber will shrink. هتخس ليه? Because the second one put inside the concentrated solution, which means water inside potato more than the other sugary solution. So water will go out. So number 1 will increase and number 2 will decrease. So the first is 6 grams absorb water and the second is 4 grams, which means release water or exosmosis. The answer is number or letter A. Next question. The root of plants take up nitrate salts from the soil. What are these mineral salts used to make? Fats, glucose, proteins, or starch? We know fats from first secondary stage, as we studied before, from organic materials, but fats don't or didn't contain any nitrogen here. We have nitrogen. And at the same time, glucose as carbohydrate contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, no nitrogen. Here we have protein. Proteins contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. But at the same time, starch as like glucose, carbohydrate, contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, as we studied ratio 1 to 2 to 1. So we can't use or choose fats or glucose or starch. So here we talk about what? We talk about protein. We know plants use nitrate to change carbohydrates into what? Into protein. Next question. When exposing the plant to a sunny day, which of the following does the rate of its releasing out from leaf increase? Exposing what? Yes, we should remember. We talk here about what? A sunny days or sunny day. So we talk about what? We talk about light reaction, not dark reaction. Which of the following does the rate of its what? Releasing out from leaf increases or increase? Which compound or element here? We have carbon dioxide. Plants during photosynthesis doesn't produce carbon dioxide. Maybe during respiration, not during photosynthesis. So carbon dioxide is wrong. At the same time, we talk about light reaction, and we know the main product in light reaction is oxygen. So if we have sunny day, so we have more oxygen. Nitrogen not from the components of the products of the photosynthesis process, nitrogen gas. And at the same time, if we talk about hydrogen gas, not from the components of photosynthesis process, especially if we talk about the light reaction. So here we talk about oxygen gas. The rate of oxygen will increase because we talk about sunny day as light reaction. Next question is, which of the following enzymes participate in the digestion of milk to make the benefit? From what? From all what? The elements that present in it. طبعا we talk about what? We talk about milk. And we know milk contains. Number one, lactose sugar. And number two, contains what? Contains protein. Protein is called casein. So here we have protein at the same time. Okay, or proteins. If we talk about lactose, the enzyme used to digest lactose is lactase. And here we have enzymes used to break down proteins by serial of steps, as we have number one, pepsin. Number two, we have trypsin. And number three, we have what? We have, yes, peptidase. As in this sequence, pepsin in stomach, trypsin in small intestine, and at the same time peptidase in the last part of small intestine in ileum. So the sequence is number 1, number 2, number 3. So we will start with what? Pepsin, then trypsin, then peptidase, then maltase. So we will choose what? Number A. Sorry, number B عشان أنا بقول lactase not lactose. يبقى amylase، عشان بس هنا الكويستشن بس اتغير، معلش. يبقى we start with pepsin in stomach, then trypsin in small intestine, duodenum, then peptidase in what? In ileum, and lactase in ileum. So the answer is of this question is number C. Okay? Okay. Next question is, the following figure shows a cross section in a part of leaf, as we see. Part of leaf. As we see, we have here upper epidermis, lower epidermis, and midrib. Which type of cells is found in layer X? In layer what? X. Here we talk about this layer, and this layer is called what? Firstly, we should know the name of this layer X. This layer X is what? Is the second layer after upper epiderm. So here we have what? After upper epiderm, we have, yes, we have palisade layer. Because the middle layer is called mesophyll layer, consists of two parts. Number one, palisade layer. Number two, spongy layer. And palisade layer is what? Is regular, barrel shape. So we will choose what? Yes, number A. Is what? Is palisade layer. Part of mesophyll layer. The second position after the upper epiderm. Okay, so now we know how can we answer this question. Next question, here we have diagram. This diagram or figure, the largest amount of carbohydrates, largest amount of what? Of carbohydrates is manufactured in the structure of our number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. We know number 1 is the upper epiderm. Number 2 is what? Is palisade layer. And number 4 is what? Is mesophyll layer. We know number 3 is the parts or section of midrib, contains xylem and phloem. Here we have number 2, as we see. Number 2 contains large amount of chlorophyll, as we talk about palisade layer. Number 4 contains at the same time chlorophyll or chloroplast, but with low rate or low percentage, not like number 2. So which one will produce more or largest amount of carbohydrate is number B, which means number 2, palisade layer. Okay. Next question is, why does the chewing of food speed up digestion process? Because the what? Number 1, number 2, or A, B, C, D. Bacteria in food are killed. Food is mixed with protease. Surface area of food is increased. Taste of food is improved. We talk about chewing. يعني بمضغ الأكل كويس. So, by chewing, the food will destroy into small pieces, so large amount of food will expose to the enzymes. So by chewing, we increase the surface area, number C, of food, in food increased by chewing. So the reason here, not bacteria is killed, not mixed with protease, not taste of food. We talk about increasing surface area by chewing of food. By which process is food moved along the alimentary canal? We talk about motion of food through the alimentary canal here. Moving about products of photosynthesis process. So we have many products of photosynthesis process as oxygen, as water, as carbohydrates. But here we talk about products from stomata in the leaf and the product of photosynthesis. So not carbon dioxide, not glucose, because glucose is carbohydrate, and the carbohydrate not from the products that release through stomata. So we have what? We have, yes, out from green leaves through stomata, product of photosynthesis, we have what? We have oxygen during light reaction. Here we have what connects a plant organ system. Connects plant's organ system. As we see here. بيربطهم ببعض. Vascular tissue, leaves or roots. This question belongs to the plant's system, plants considered as one system, as we know. But the vascular tissues, as tubes inside the plants, xylem or phloem, here connect the different parts in the plants. Which organ is the primary site for photosynthesis process? root, stem, leaf, or number 4 يعني all the previous. All the previous. طبعا we know the main site of photosynthesis process is what? Is leaf, primary. لأن sometimes the stem can make photosynthesis process but not primary. So we choose here we will choose number C. Next one. What is the primary function of root? Very easy question. The primary function of root is what? Exchange gases, absorb of water, absorb of minerals, or B and C. We know that function of root what? Use the main function is absorb water and absorb minerals from the soil, so the answer is B and C. Next question. When trypsin is added to a suspension of egg protein, and we know egg contains protein, and at the same time we talk about trypsin, and the trypsin is the enzyme used to digest protein into polypeptides. In a test tube and kept at 37 Celsius as a temperature of human. After 8 minutes, the protein changed from cloudy to transparent, which means the protein decompose. Which of the following products will be present in the test tube? Now we know trypsin break down proteins into, yes, not amino acid, into polypeptide chains. Okay? The first step to digest protein. Next question is, the smallest, the Salmonella bacteria cause poisoning of human, leading to corrosion in the lining of alimentary canal during the food absorption. Which part of the alimentary canal is the most affected? Here we talk about what? We talk about the absorption. What? Absorption. And we know absorption takes place in what? In small intestine, especially in ileum. We talk about ileum. So here we have large, as we see in this question, the most affected place or organ or tissue is the small intestine, especially ileum. Next question, as we see here, we have, which one of the following root hairs has the greatest ability to absorb water? 1, 2, or 3? As we see, 1, 2, or 3, or 1 and 3 together. We know, as we studied before, the ability to absorb according to the difference in the root pressure and at the same time the thickness of the root hair. Here we have no pressure inside or outside, so we can't use number 1. And in number 3, the thickness is large, so we can't use number 3. Here in number 2, we have thin membrane, and at the same time, the concentration inside the sap vacuole is modified for making root pressure difference. So here we can use, or the choice is number B. Okay, dear students, at the end of this episode, I hope you get more benefits and can understand completely what we studied in chapter 1, nutrition in human, and as autotrophic and heterotrophic, digestion in human, and the photosynthesis, with some questions about absorption with different mechanism of absorption. And until we meet again, thank you, see you, and goodbye.
مدرستنا مدرستنا يا منورة والنور في بيتنا، علمتينا وفهمتينا لما بقينا حاسين بقيمتنا. المدرسة علينا بتنادي عني اللي شايفه في وسط بلادي، بتنمينا مع بعضينا، بتنمي فينا معلوماتنا. عالهوا دروس يومية للابتدائية والثانوية، عالهوا دروس يومية للابتدائية والثانوية. فرح